All right, let's move into our second review, Offseason 2021. After receiving a mysterious letter, a woman travels to a desolate island town and soon becomes trapped in a nightmare. Written and directed by Mickey Keating, who the only credit I saw that I recognized was 2015's Pod. But he has like 5 or 6 full movies that he's directed. So if you like this, maybe you'll like those. Jason, do you have any information?
Tagline: a survival tale made of nightmares, distributed by RLJE Films and out on Blu-ray through Image Entertainment this year.
Right on. Regina, why don't you start us off?
All right. Now, I don't have a whole heck of a lot to say about this one, simply because it bored me to death. It took me a couple of tries to watch it.
That's where I'm at.
I don't mind slow burns. I mean, that's not my problem. I can appreciate a good slow burn. As a matter of fact, a good slow burn is one of my favorite things. But not this one. It starts off with a very long one person dialogue, which I always freaking hate. And it ends in a sudden scream, and I'm like, oh, that's just, is that supposed to be some kind of freaking jump scare to make me interested? Because it did the exact opposite of if that's what they were trying to do. So the whole movie's kind of in a surreal setting. It seems like the whole movie is in a dream sequence. It's kind of convoluted. There's a lot of shit going on, but at the same time, not enough consistency to hold interest. It's another one of those movies that's so caught up in it's in trying to be artistic that it totally loses the story, and really makes me lose interest. I'm like, yeah. I've seen this. I've seen this kind of movie. I mean, there's so many other movies that are done so much better. As a matter of fact, this one had extreme vibes from Fulci's The Beyond. It seemed very much like that one to me. But The Beyond is The Beyond is a far superior movie. This one doesn't know which direction it wants to go. Like I said, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to say about it because it is just so freaking, it dragged on. It like, sure, it was pretty to look at. You had these zombie-like creatures. I don't know. But anyways, like you get to the end and it's like one of those like, oh, now you're going to tell me that she's been dead the entire fucking time. Nice. We haven't seen this one done 1,000,001 fucking times. And then the very, very last scene happens and, oh, maybe it really is some kind of stupid ass fucking cursed town. I don't know. This one, I was completely underwhelmed. I give it a 5. It wasn't that great.
Right on. Ray. Oh no, Jared. Fuck.
Yeah,
Jared. I did it again.
Jared.
I can't get this shit straight.
Yeah.
Jared.
Hey, we told you, write it down.
What? Who has a pencil these days?
Here, you can borrow mine, Frank.
Oh, look at there. Why don't you go listen to some records? I might go listen to some records. I don't know. Anyways, Jared, go ahead.
To be completely honest about this whole film and everything, going into it, like, I didn't like this film at all. To be completely honest.
Right there with you.
Yeah, I felt a lot of times either she was running a lot from one point A to point B for in an empty town for too long, in my opinion. And I don't know, the way they built it up and everything, like to reveal that there was a curse on the island, and that like you find out that that guy that was willing to help her was actually her mother's brother, and stuff like that. And it's just, I felt like it wanted to be, this is my opinion and everything, I felt like they wanted to build up something to like an Arkham horror. I'm a big fan of like Cthulhu and stuff like that, and it almost felt like something of Arkham horror in some way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they
a
were-
Lovecraft story.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, a
definitely
very Lovecraftian story to me.
Yeah.
They didn't have the
Uh,
means or the machines to do so, though. I don't-
Yeah, it didn't
Exactly.
lead up to that point. Like I thought, like towards the end, like that when she's on the beach and you see a creature off in the distance and stuff, and you can't really tell what it is and everything.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, could that be like Cthulhu or something? That would
Definitely,
be
yeah.
really badass.
Show
But
it.
no, yeah, show it, but you don't see it. And the way it leads up to, obviously she falls to the curse and she ends up being part of the island at the end and everything. And I don't know, like I have really bad ADHD, and when a movie doesn't catch my attention and everything, it's really hard for me to sit in the same spot and everything to finish this film. And I struggle to do so. And so I have to give it a 4 out of 10 for me.
All right, Ray. Hit me with it.
Well, I mean, so far everyone's wrong.
Live.
I love this. I picked this movie solely on. Frank knows my process. I just go through Shudder or Tubi and I start looking at things.
He's
and read
trying not to get
synopsises.
yelled at, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, right? You don't want
yeah,
nobody
no-
yelling at you.
I don't want anybody yelling at me, and so I want to pick something that I think that maybe people that's broad enough for everybody to maybe enjoy. And if they don't like it, whatever. But for this one, I just kind of picked it. Walmsley had said he had seen it, and so I was looking, and I was like, "Oh, this." I remembered him talking about this, and it looks interesting. Let's check it out. I love Lovecraftian horror. I've read a bunch of H.P. Lovecraft stories. I think this was like somebody reading a Lovecraft short story to me, but showing me in pictures. I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought it was well acted. I mean, I don't know what I mean, what
Yeah.
else you could want when there's
It
like
wa-
4 people in the whole movie basically that talk. The special effects, I thought that the smaller, like the zombie people and then the crazy tree thing in the house, was neat. I like that they didn't reveal Cthulhu because that's what they were alluding to, in my opinion. At least some sort of sea god, right?
They were alluding
Yeah,
for a very long time, though, Ray.
You're right. Now, like, well, let me get to
Yeah.
my Let me get to my cons, because you're right. I thought it was a little long. It was a little long-winded. Like I agree with the. I'm sorry. What was her name again? The young lady.
Regina.
I agree with
Yeah.
Regina. It was. There are parts where she's running too. I agree that take way too long. Like, how long do we need to run to get to the bridge, guys? I mean, but I love that kind of shit though. So this is my baloney cake, if you will. I like this kind of stuff. I can watch this kind of stuff all day, every day, and be fine with it, even at this lower level. You're right. It's not as elevated as a In the Mouth of Madness, right? Or a
Yeah.
Which is a
The
great movie.
Beyond. Yeah, exactly. So you're right. For what it is, it's clearly a low budget attempt at an H.P. Lovecraft story. I liked it. I had a good time. Like I said, I'll be checking this guy's stuff out. I had a couple of complaints. Like I said, the guy grabbed the worst gun in the history of guns, to use,
Yeah.
which was ridiculous to me. So the story was a little bit, like I said, underdeveloped. So I thought that I liked the idea of the mom sending this out, and she becomes entrapped in her mom's curse. And I thought that was cool. That's how I read the ending of it. When I was done, is that she had to live out her mother's responsibility, and I like that. I thought it was a neat ending. It's kind of shit I would love to write. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. Probably giving it higher than anybody else that watched it, but I enjoyed it. So.
Right on. John, where are you at?
All right. So yeah, I saw this before. I can't, it might have been on Shudder, but I think that's where it was first. And then they started promoting it. It dropped on Shudder, but I know I saw it, that I watched it there before. And before it just came out, like big title. I'm a big Jocelyn Donahue fan. I told you about, I love House of the Devil. Like
Right.
after I loved her performance so much in it that like if I see that she's in something, I'm gonna watch it because I just liked her a lot. I thought the story was really cool. The curse was really neat. I liked how it was HP Lovecraft light, because that was just like how I understood it was the man that came from the sea was like an emissary of the island because all those the vines and stuff was like the like roots. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he's in there, like they show his big shadow, but like the island's like an extension of him.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So like he is the island, and that was like I'll hook you up if you just stay here and you become basically energy vampires on the tourist.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna suck you dry while one guy stays awake and make sure nothing happens.
Whoa.
And
I'm
gonna cut that out.
I'm gonna suck you dry while one guy stays awake and make sure nothing happens. I'm gonna suck you dry. I'm gonna suck you dry.
I'm gonna suck you dry. I'm gonna suck you dry.
I think I saw that in college.
That's gonna be a drop next episode.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But I really, Regina, you said the Beyond vibes. I should have put it together, but I wasn't thinking in those terms because it's just not. I wasn't in that headspace, but that is a really cool comparison.
Yeah, there was actually
that's my favorite film of all time. My favorite.
There was a couple shots where I said the same thing to me. Like that looks like Fulci.
I really, what part I really liked, and it's so minor, but I just dug it. They're on an island, right? It's a finite space of land, right? They're driving, dude. Kind of. I thought he looked like Colin Hanks. Colin Hanks swerves around. I'm like, fucking yeah, and then it's a wall of fucking brush. I love that. It dead ended in the middle of a highway. Like I love hopeless kind of shit like that. That really. It's like, yeah, you guys are
kind of like a Silent Hill vibe.
I knew they weren't going to get
going on.
Yeah. The one thing about her movies, none of them have happy endings for her character.
Yeah. Oh no, not at all.
She's just fucked. She's a female Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Except
Oh
for
yeah. She's the female Sean Bean for sure.
Yeah.
But I love the whole VHS training video at the tensest moment of the film.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was
I
great.
love that. That was so funny because they did it seriously enough where it's like, well, what the fuck else is she gonna do?
I was waiting on her to fuck that up because, like, you know how,
dude, it's like pay by numbers.
Like she was trying to do it real fast, and I expected something to be like, in case this happens, and then she didn't wait long enough for the video and just fucking grind the gears on that bridge or something. Seemed like it was gonna happen.
Yeah, but I like that they threw in Richard Brake.
Yeah,
a little bit of screen time, but he made them of it. Especially at the end, obviously, because
from Tremors, Shrieker Island. If you haven't seen him in that, he's wonderful. Just watched it the other day.
Yeah, he's real good. But I loved the pace of it. That didn't get on my nerves at all. I wasn't bored. I had a good time with this one. I gave it a 7. I thought it was pretty well done. That I love that scene where her mom comes back to life and gets dragged out. That was her punishment. I loved it.
Yeah.
She left. You're done. And I got your daughter. So
right.
Like you're done. Like I don't know what's gonna happen to her, but it ain't gonna be good.
All right, Jason, you're up to bat.
Yeah, so this Ray, you said you were going to watch some of his other stuff. What Mickey what's this guy's name? The director?
Mickey Keating.
Michael Keaton. Something like that.
Oh, Michael
Keaton directed this movie.
Keaton.
Anyway, so yeah, this guy, he's known from his watching some of his other movies. He's known for style, and I think sometimes the story or the plot kind of gets pushed to the background. He's Darling, I think, is one that's sticking out to me. Very stylish.
Oh, he did that one.
Yeah.
I'm 80% sure. But yeah, he is all about style, and that's kind of where this one fall to. Supernatural horror, I guess, with a Lovecraft feel to it. Straight away, though, wow, the atmosphere is thick in this movie, and again, that's the style. That's clearly what they were going for. That's the best part of the movie for me. And that atmosphere is big with me. Like I can forgive a lot of other flaws as long as I'm in the movie. Like bring me into that world. It was already dreamlike in many ways to begin with. The score is great in this, and it helps create that vibe and tone of this atmosphere. The setting, the film locations, like the color palette, everything is gray and just blah looking. Like it sucked me in. It really did. You can cut that one out, Frank, too. Right?
It just sucked me in.
I have a whole bunch.
Shot really well. The cinematography, like I said earlier, like some of these shots look like they're straight up a Fulci movie, and just the way things are framed and pictured. I was taken back by it. Small cast, I guess it seems, but it was a good cast. And this Jocelyn Donahue, she's building quite a resume. House of the Devil, The Burrowers, Dr. Sleep, like these are all good movies to me. I like all those movies. I don't remember seeing Fessenden.
Neither do I. I was just going to ask you if you saw him. He played somebody
idea.
Called H. Grierson. Was he in the bar?
It has to be. He had to get lost in a group of like 8 guys in there. But I don't know. I
was there a
looking
letter
for
written by him or something?
Maybe he would just read something. Maybe that was it. I don't know. So confusing.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing him, but
I know.
But
I
anyway.
remember the name. It was some. I think maybe he was like in like makeup and stuff, like prosthetics and stuff, make him look like an old man, possibly.
He had to be.
He didn't stick out.
No,
you know
sure.
how he looks. He sticks out in film.
Yeah,
okay,
you usually can tell just by his hair.
Right,
His messy hair.
I was like, oh look, there's Jack Nicholson.
Maybe he was wearing a
biopic.
Totally.
Do this.
So I'm nitpicking here, but the thing, it just they did it didn't need to be done. And again, nitpicking. My only complaint is at the very end that when she looks in the camera. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's been done before. It's been done way too much. That didn't do anything else for that movie. She could have just looked around and just kind of smiled and went back in. But she had to look right at the camera and smile. Like, come on, get over that. Yeah, no, I would. Like I said, if a movie has atmosphere and the tone, that goes a long ways for me. I enjoyed this movie. I gave it a 7 as well.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, I guess I'll say what I have to say about this. I try not to just judge something so far in the beginning of it, but like the first 5 minutes, I was getting the vibe that this is going to be a savagely serious, like austere fucking movie that had no, like, just very serious about what they're talking about. And not a single mention of meat pies. I'll be honest. I was disappointed right out of that. It is beautifully shot, but so are a million other boring things. I saw a movie in an IMAX theater that was all about roller coasters, and we still left before it was over. You know, beautiful, fucking pristine, still left. You know, things can look good, but not really have anything I want to watch going on. A lot of walking around, and they were constantly trying to like tense it up, make it real tense with this soundtrack and choruses and all this stuff, but it just lulled me to sleep. I fell asleep so many times and had to go back and get back in the walking track because that's what she's doing. She's looking for clues. It's real fucking boring. And like, this is my main problem with it overall. This is set in modern day times. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
why
would
the
assume
fuck
so.
did she have to go to this island at all? If that happened, did she have to go fix it herself with her hands? Or could she not send a
The
check,
tombstone.
or
You had to go, like,
get a credit card
sign
involved,
paperwork or-
get somebody on the
there.
horn? I don't know. Whatever it was, Western Union. I don't know. There's ways. In about 40 minutes, because I was really holding off on judging this, I confidently categorize this film in the slow burn, stay awake challenge genre. Like Rosemary's Baby or The Dark and the Wicked, except for there's nothing at the end. There's no thing. There's no.
She looks in the
golden
camera.
theme. There's
That.
no. They could have really. I would have gave this movie a way higher score if when that Cthulhu happens, then something else happened. And maybe made like shit a little light on that fucking thing, or like it can be far away. Put a little, show me something. Come on. I've been walking with this bitch through this fucking town for what seems like the whole weekend, because it took me that long to watch.
I mean, it looked like just like a tangle of roots personified,
Yeah.
really. The way there was so
Yeah.
much stuff hanging off of it and,
Yeah.
and moving. It wasn't like Cthulhu's got, the
Couldn't
tentacles.
tell
It
though.
wasn't
It's so
all
far
planet.
away and so small, and
Eh,
the way they break it up into chapters does make it seem even more like a book, though. Like a really long book about wills and rain and
Do you hear this,
confusion.
Randy? Do you hear
I
this
hear it.
confusion?
Yeah.
I mean,
this is
you know.
this is like a thick boy book. This is like a fucking it's scented with lavender as to help you lull to
Did you
sleep.
say
Uh,
did you say a big boy?
leave
book?
you drool. A thick boy.
lavender.
It's a thick boy. It's like that. It's like a carpet
okay.
sample book
I
that
thought you
someone's
said a
reading
big
to
boy
you.
book.
It smells like lavender, so you fall asleep on their pillowy pages, and then you wake up right at the chapter about squeaky gates and fog. It's really.
You're right. It's definitely no satanic meat pie makers. I'll
That's
tell you that much.
entertainment, Randy. that's some shit. There's some shit going on in that movie. There's nothing happening here except for a lady that goes all to the trouble of breaking in a gun store and then takes a revolver and what
That's what I
seems
said.
like only 6 bullets.
The
You took
worst
an-
gun out of the whole
She
shop.
filled it
yeah.
up once and then was like,
there was a shotgun right behind her.
there was
There
all
was
kinds of
yeah.
guns.
Oh, there were so many guns.
But
behind
listen,
her.
she had to be mobile, right, for all the walking. So that's,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
true.
handgun.
When you see what she saw, you grab a few more things. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
at
like,
least the
revolver
machete.
for starters.
A machete could have
And
took
then,
care of
like,
those vines,
you know.
or whatever. But this is
She grabs a wooden shop horse.
a lot of bad decisions. But this is like basically an unimpressive Dagon. It may or may not be a dream. The coolest visual is that Cthulhu silhouette. But I give it a 3. But Ray, I just want to say we're friends. So don't forget.